What's up guys, 420 Fish Girl here, and I am going to go over a Snello recipe with you. So, Snello is a type of food that I give my snails, land and aquatic. And let's take a peek at my snails actually. So this is my snail tank. I've got neorites, ram's horns, MTSs, mysteries, rabbits. Oh yay. We have a mystery laying a clutch right there. Gross. Sorry. I like them, but I just think the clutches are gross. Anyway, they like Snello. It is gelatin based, and you just mix a few things in there that would be beneficial to them. It's super easy and it's fun, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. So first I'm going to go over supplies. I like to use a flat Tupperware container like this, flat square one. When you spread everything out, it makes it a lot easier for you to cut the Snello into cubes or whatever size you'd like it. Gelatin, unflavored, plain, and we use that to harden the food itself. That's what keeps it together. And interestingly enough, gelatin has a small amount of calcium, but we are going to add a little more calcium carbonate powder. You can get this at any health food store. I don't know about co-ops, but some people I know, because I do have reptiles too, some people use this Fluker's liquid calcium. They'll put like a dropper full per each thing of baby food that they use. So, but in this case, today I'm going to use the calcium carbonate powder, and I am just going to use half a teaspoon. I don't have my half a teaspoon, so I have to use 2 of the 1/4 teaspoons, whatever. A fork and a knife to mix and cut the Snello with. We have some powdered spirulina. I just like to add this for extra measure, extra oomph, vitamins, nutrients, plus they really, really love it. And then, of course, 2 containers of baby food for this ratio. Here I've got, looks like green bean and peas. And then a little protein source. Here I've got some nice fish flakes. These are nice, colorful, nice brand fish flakes. So we're going to do that. All right, next step. So what I've done here is I've got my container, and I'm emptying the baby food out into the container. Green bean and peas. Every snail's dream is every baby's nightmare. I don't know. Oh, shut up. Okay. So, we got our baby food here in our container. And this is when I mix all the other stuff in. A lot of people will tell you to, or they use their own personal method of mixing all this stuff in after it's hot. But when it's hot, I want to focus on getting that gelatin in there evenly and fast. So I'm not going to dick around with like other shit in there until I'm going to put stuff in there beforehand. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, this is going to be a long take with a lot of weird shit because I refuse to edit this part into a bunch of pieces. Anyway, we take our little spoonful. I'm adding 2 of those of the calcium carbonate powder. So that is, this is 2 scoops of 1/4 teaspoon. So you could just use 1/2 teaspoon also. I use 1 little scoop, or a 1/4 of a teaspoon per container of baby food that I use, depending on how big I'm making the batch. So, and then I also use 2 heaping quarter teaspoons of spirulina. They love it. They can't get enough of it. You can't overdose on it. It's a supplement. It's great. They love it. And then not really needing to use the spoon for the fish flakes, but just put a nice healthy amount in there that won't make it super duper chunky. And I'm gonna mix this together. It's, yeah, yummy. Kind of pretty. I am going to mix this together and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have a delicious looking nice green mixture. Actually, I love the smell of spirulina. Do you guys ever make this stuff? Goldfish keepers out there or whatnot. Oh, I'm looking for it in the wrong spot. This stuff, Rapashi Super Gold. It is mainly a spirulina based, also a powder that you mix it very similarly to Snello, just this in boiling water. And you also cut it into cubes, and it's great for flower horn grooming and goldfish coloration. I use this to help groom my gold-based flower horns to help give them an extra bump in those golds and brilliant oranges. So that could actually be used as a substitute or a supplement for spirulina if you have some on hand. Now, popping that baby in the microwave for 1 minute exactly. Okay, this is hot. Now I had my fork in hand, the top's already ripped off of my gelatins, so I could just hurry up and start mixing this in. You want to constantly keep it moving. Gently shake out the powder. And I like these plastic forks because it pushes down the gelatin. And if it gets too cold, then the gelatin gets clumpy. So you kind of got to pour at a steady rate while mixing fast. And normally 1 packet of gelatin would be sufficient, but I like to use about 1.5 because I like it extra firm. It tends to make the water less dirty. The snails can get to it a little faster and such before it like disintegrates in the water. If you use a little more gelatin, make it a little firmer. So it's going to be a little chunky because of the fish flakes and stuff I put in it. But that's okay because snails need a little protein too. And then the calcium's in there. Now, refrigerate. Alright guys, I'm back. Just about to take my freshly chilled Snello out of the fridge. Before I do that though, I want to just go over a couple alternatives of things that I used in my recipe. The baby food, obviously you can get any brand you want. They're the standard small jars or those little square blister pack sizes I was opening. I can't remember the exact ounces on those. But you can buy different brands. They love the green ones the best. But snails do need protein. If you want, you can try to mix a little bit of meat flavored in there. They have like beef, turkey, chicken type baby foods. I already discussed the Rapashi Super Gold. If you wanted to get an expensive sub in for your spirulina, which is actually really, really cheap. I usually get it on eBay, the spirulina. My favorite sub when I don't have the flakes I was using is Tetra Tropical Crisps. They're a little firmer of a flake, you know, they're not so flimsy, they don't deteriorate right away like the normal larger like goldfish or pond flakes. These are little round, little disc type things, and I like to crunch them up and put them places. I don't know. Okay, and as far as the calcium goes, I have a piece here of bird cuttle bone, and you can just easily, you could grab a small little container or a plastic baggie, and you can take a plastic knife and just shave that off there. See it coming off? And that would be sufficient as well. Some people just float cuttle bone in their snail tanks and nix the calcium out of the recipe in general, which is fine too. I mean, they have to get weighed down a lot of the time. They float. So a snail actually getting the benefits of calcium, it has to ingest it. So yeah, bird cuttle bone works, but not super great if it's floating. So that's why I infuse the powder into my Snello. Or what I have here is for this recipe with the two containers of baby food, you can crush up 3 Tums in place of the cuttle bone, or in place of the half a teaspoon that I was using, or that I used for in my recipe. So those are a couple subs you can use if you don't have what I was using, or if you can't find it. So let's get our Snello. Okay, so out of the fridge a few hours later. It's nice and firm. Slap it down like that. And cut. Yeah, I think 1.5 packets is the perfect amount for that amount of baby food. It's a little bit, yeah, it's fully formed, but it's a little just smeary or liquidy almost on the bottom, just from kind of rushing the refrigeration process, or just trying to get it in the video. But anyway, you don't have to watch me cut this whole thing. You know how to cut shit. So anyway, alright, I'm just going to add some of my freshly made Snello to my snail tank. It sinks right down. And so you can see where they've landed. I gave them algae pellets, or wafers this morning, so let's drop one in front of this apple snail. Or on top of it, I guess. Jeez, what the hell. And I am going to just check back in a bit. We will see if it's taken interest. Oh, yeah. It's already taken interest. These guys can smell like you wouldn't believe, if you want to call it that. They just flock to the greenery. This is one of my big apple snails. Alright, I'm gonna check back in a minute. Maybe he'll found one. Okay, I'm back checking on that snail, and it has the Snello in its possession. Oh, so happy about that. So they love it. It's just a matter of whether or not they can get to it fast enough. So anyway, got some mysteries over here discovering the Snello. Oh yeah. Good deal. Anyway, to wrap it up, my name's Ruby, 420 Fish Girl, and thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching, subscribing, whatever. And that was my little instructional on how to make your own Snello for your snails. So you guys have a great night, and thanks again for watching. Bye.